The most dangerous enemy isn't the one who fights you. It's the one who quietly studies your weaknesses, waiting to exploit them. You may think you're just dealing with difficult people, annoying coworkers, toxic exes, cold family members. It's easy to write them off as stressful, dramatic, or emotionally immature. But what if the truth runs deeper, darker? What if some of them don't just want to see you lose an argument? They want to see you unravel. Piece by piece, silently, strategically. They don't throw punches. They pull strings. They study your patterns, test your reactions, twist your words, and turn your kindness into a trap. These aren't people who oppose you openly. They smile. They support you, at least on the surface. But behind the scenes, they manipulate outcomes, sow doubt, and quietly dismantle your confidence. They don't hate you in the way most people understand hate. They target you, with patience, with calculation. And here's the terrifying part. They often wear the mask of friendship. They position themselves close enough to hug you, while holding a knife behind their back. This isn't about being paranoid. This is about being prepared. In a world where betrayal hides behind charm, where sabotage is disguised as concern, and where psychological warfare is waged in silence, you need to see the signs before it's too late. Welcome to Stoic Spirit, the channel where ancient wisdom meets modern challenge. If you're someone who values emotional clarity, inner strength, and unshakable calm in a chaotic world, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss content that helps you grow stronger, sharper, and more grounded. In today's video, you're going to learn 5 disturbing signs that someone in your life isn't just against you. They want to break you, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And the ancient teachings of the Stoics might be the only shield you have left. Let's begin. Number 1. The mind miner. They don't interrogate you, they listen. They nod at the right moments, laugh when you need it, ask questions that sound thoughtful but harmless. What keeps you up at night? What scares you the most? Why did that relationship end? You answer, thinking you're being seen, thinking someone finally understands. But what's really happening is far more dangerous. They're digging, not for connection, but for ammunition. This kind of person doesn't rush. They let you talk, they let you cry, and all the while they're storing your words like weapons in a vault, ready to be used against you when it serves their interest. They don't need to insult you. They just have to wait until you've handed them the perfect way to make you question your worth. Be careful what you share with the world. Not everyone is listening to help. Marcus found this out the hard way. He met Jordan at a grief support group. Jordan seemed different, gentle, kind, full of empathy. They spent long evenings talking about life, death, trauma. Marcus opened up about his childhood, his self-doubt, his panic attacks, and the loss that still haunted him. He thought he had found a friend who understood the darkness. But as the months passed, something changed. Jordan started making jokes, harmless at first, then colder, sharper. Passive-aggressive remarks in front of others. Don't mind Marcus, he's still stuck in the past. Or, that's just his anxiety talking again. Private pain Marcus had shared in confidence was now being tossed around casually, weaponized for laughs and social leverage. That's when it hit him. Jordan didn't care about his healing. He cared about his access. Because in the wrong hands, access becomes control. And the more deeply you let someone in without discernment, the more power they hold to dismantle you. The more you reveal of yourself, the more power you give others to harm you. Epictetus. Stoicism teaches restraint, not just in speech, but in exposure. Not everyone deserves to see the soft parts of your soul. Your vulnerabilities are sacred. Share them with the wise, the loyal, and the proven, not with those who smile too quickly or ask too many questions too soon. Because the true mind miner doesn't steal your secrets, they get you to hand them over, with trust. Number 2. The saboteur in silence. Not all destruction is loud. Sometimes it comes dressed as oops. It whispers through forgotten emails, missed messages, and tiny miscommunications. 1 mistake and you shrug it off. 2, and you raise an eyebrow. 3, and suddenly you're being called unreliable. The saboteur in silence doesn't attack you head-on. They operate in shadows. Their genius lies in plausibility. Every failure they create looks like bad luck, or worse, your fault. They won't scream, they'll shrug. Oh, I thought you were on the list. Sorry, I didn't realize that was your responsibility. I must have misread the instructions. Again, and again, and again. A Stoic does not fear sabotage, but he does not ignore it either. Take Lila, a project manager at a tech firm. She worked with someone she thought was a friend, Alyssa. Friendly, smart, helpful at first. But soon, things began to unravel. Lila missed key updates, didn't get invited to meetings, and started hearing whispers that she was slipping. What she didn't know was that Alyssa was behind most of it. She would forget to loop Lila in. She would accidentally take credit for ideas they had brainstormed together. She even once told their boss that Lila had been really overwhelmed lately, a lie disguised as concern. By the time Lila realized what was happening, her reputation was already damaged. And the worst part? She had no proof. Because the saboteur doesn't leave fingerprints. They kill trust with plausible deniability. Slowly, quietly, effectively. The Stoics would call this a lesson in pattern recognition. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Meaning, every obstacle is a signal. Every mistake that keeps happening from the same person is no longer a coincidence, it's a tactic. Their goal isn't to confront you. It's to weaken your foundation until you collapse under the weight of confusion and self-doubt. They don't push you off the cliff, they loosen the rocks beneath your feet until gravity does the rest. So how do you protect yourself? First, track patterns, not apologies. Second, document. Keep receipts, screenshots, timestamps. Third, stay calm. A Stoic doesn't explode, they observe. The saboteur thrives when you panic, but when you remain composed and clear-eyed, their quiet schemes lose their power. Sabotage doesn't always come with a scream. Sometimes it comes with a smile and a shrug. And if you're not paying attention, it won't just make you look incompetent. It'll make you question your own reality. If this video is giving you value so far, consider subscribing to Stoic Spirit. Your support helps us create more content that empowers you to stay clear-minded and strong in a chaotic world. Thank you for being here with us. It truly means a lot. Number 3. The Guilt Puppeteer. Some people don't need to shout to control you, they just need to sigh. They won't say do it or else. Instead, they lower their voice and say, I guess I'm not that important to you. Or worse, after everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? It's not a demand, it's emotional blackmail, dressed in disappointment. Guilt is their favorite weapon, and you don't even realize it's being used until it's wrapped tightly around your decisions. You start canceling your plans, betraying your needs, and doubting your worth, all to avoid making them feel bad. But it's not their feelings you're protecting, it's their control. He who feels guilty without fault is already under someone else's control. Seneca. Emma lived through this for years. Her sister, let's call her Rachel, was always in crisis, always needing a favor, a ride, a loan, a therapist. And every time Emma tried to set a boundary, Rachel would tearfully remind her of all the sacrifices she'd made. I dropped everything when you were going through your breakup. I always put you first. The guilt worked like a charm. Emma would cave, again and again. Until one day, Emma was sick, truly unwell. She asked Rachel for help. And the response? Cold silence. That's when it all clicked. Emma hadn't been in a relationship. She'd been in a transaction. Her worth had been measured by how much she could give. And her love was only valid when it came with self-sacrifice. Stoicism teaches us that compassion without clarity becomes slavery. A Stoic helps when it aligns with reason, not guilt. You can be kind without being controlled. You can be supportive without being drained. Saying no doesn't make you cruel, it makes you honest. Ask yourself, if someone only treats you with love when you bend over backwards, is that love or is it leverage? A healthy relationship makes room for your needs. A toxic one punishes them. So pay attention to the people who guilt you when you grow, shame you when you say no, or disappear when you ask for reciprocity. Remember, a Stoic's virtue is not in endless sacrifice, but in wise discernment. As Epictetus said, know what you control and what you don't. Guilt is not always yours to carry, especially when it was placed there by someone else. Number 4. The shadow competitor. They cheer you on loudly, publicly, but look closely. The smile doesn't reach their eyes. The praise feels rehearsed. Behind every compliment, there's a hidden comparison. Behind every congrats, a silent calculation. The shadow competitor doesn't attack you. They emulate you. They copy your ideas, mimic your tone, follow your strategy, but always just enough to claim it as their own. They don't want to destroy you. They want to replace you. And they do it subtly, never directly, never obviously. They don't argue with you. They outshine you. They don't contradict you. They borrow from you. And slowly, your originality becomes their blueprint. The envious man is dangerous not because he hates you, but because he wants what you have and will smile while taking it. Alex had a colleague like this, Sean. Friendly, helpful, always complimenting Alex's ideas during team meetings. But over time, Alex noticed something strange. His concepts were being pitched in other rooms by Sean. His exact phrases were showing up in client presentations without credit. When Alex confronted him, Sean just laughed. "We're a team, right? Ideas are meant to be shared." But Alex knew better. This wasn't collaboration. It was quiet theft. Stoicism warns against placing your value in applause or recognition. Because the moment your worth depends on external praise, you're vulnerable to subtle warfare. The shadow competitor doesn't need to ruin your life. They just need to make you doubt that your brilliance is even yours anymore. So how do you defend yourself? First, detach your ego from attention. Let your validation come from character, not claps. Second, document your work. Leave a trail. Keep your originality traceable. Third, observe calmly. Don't accuse. Track patterns. If someone consistently echoes your voice, it's not inspiration, it's a quiet invasion. The Stoics remind us, truth endures, fame fades, flattery shifts, but your integrity, that's eternal. Anchor your confidence in what you create, not who copies it. Let your work speak, and when it's stolen, don't panic. Just smile and create something even better. Because while others are busy imitating, the Stoic keeps evolving. Number 5. The Emotional Arsonist. They don't yell, they don't threaten, they don't need to. Because the Emotional Arsonist doesn't aim to break you physically, they aim to unravel you emotionally. Quietly, skillfully, one spark at a time. They provoke you with subtle jabs, tiny insults wrapped in jokes. They question your intentions, they misinterpret your tone, and when you finally speak up, they tilt their head and say, "Wow, why are you being so sensitive?" Or, "You're reading too much into it," or worse, "You always make things about you." This is gaslighting at its most refined, turning your reality into a battleground and making you question the validity of your own emotions. And if you're not careful, you'll start second-guessing everything. Your words, your reactions, your sense of what's real. Do not argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you. Stoic teaching. John knew someone like this. A coworker named Eric. On the surface, Eric was charming, witty, well-liked, but behind closed doors, he was a master button pusher. He'd make cutting remarks with a smirk, then claim they were just jokes. He'd bring up John's past mistakes in public, then call it constructive feedback. John stayed silent until one day in a tense meeting, after one too many provocations, he snapped, raised his voice, lost his cool. And guess who looked like the unstable one? That's the playbook. The Emotional Arsonist doesn't destroy you directly. They create chaos, step back, and let you be the one holding the match when the room goes up in flames. And in the eyes of others, you become the problem. A Stoic doesn't fall for this trap. They don't argue with shadows. They don't waste energy proving their sanity to someone who profits from their instability. Instead, they detach, observe, respond with clarity, not emotion. The Stoics teach that inner peace is not found in controlling others, but in mastering your response. When someone tries to light you on fire emotionally, don't give them the oxygen. Let them burn themselves out in silence. Because not every battle is worth fighting. And some fires only grow when you fan them with attention. Once you recognize the game, you no longer play it, you master it. If you've seen any of these signs in your life, know this. You're not overreacting. You're not imagining things. And you're definitely not being paranoid. You're waking up. Drop a comment below. I see the truth. Because once you see these patterns clearly, you can't unsee them, and you won't fall for them again. If you want to go even deeper into how Stoic wisdom can protect you in a deceptive, manipulative world, watch the next video on your screen now. It will sharpen your instincts, strengthen your mind, and give you the tools to deal with even the most toxic personalities. And remember, clarity is your weapon, calm is your armor. And your strength, it doesn't come from fighting battles, it comes from seeing clearly and choosing wisely. Thank you for watching Stoic Spirit. Stay sharp, stay centered, stay in control. I'll see you in the next video.